Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Leader Class Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, aka Cybertron / Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. And I cannot be more stoked because that was my first Optimus. Cybertron Optimus was my first Optimus. There's barely been anything new related to that series since it came out. And now we have a new toy based on the Optimus from that series. And I am so excited. So let's just get into looking at his alternate fire truck mode. It is based on the Siege Leader Class Ultra Magnus. Main things that are the same are the cab to an extent, as well as the pegging system on the side and the legs. For the main thing is the legs, but not a whole lot. A lot different at the very least between those two. You can see up front we have the very Cybertron Optimus Prime cab up here with some nice transparent blue plastic over there and on the sides with a little bit of yellow on the front for the headlights. We've got some nice silver paint there as well as some white going around the underside of the windows. Up top, it's pretty much just solid red, a little bit of gray for the robot mode head. And then you get the grille, which, I mean, those details are accurate. Unfortunate thing is it's not accurate that they exist on the front, but it would be more accurate if the giant robot mode fists were on the front. But you know what? That looks good and honestly probably a bit better than, giant fist truck. But hey, I can still make a comment about that. And then we got some blue and grays going on here. We got the front wheels with a silver middle. Unlike the actual Cybertron Prime, there is only one set of wheels, not two, but it's okay. Coming to the side, we've got his wings with the silver paint there. There's a lot of molded detail and these fake wheels on here that are just trying to hide. We got the same front wheels on the back as we did there, and we also got two more of those same wheels right there. A little bit of silver going on back here, as well as this just red panel. A lot of blue and with some silver paint going on. A little bit of that Siege battle damage on the feet there. Up top, it's kind of holy. We got the back there where you can see the Supermode's shoulder pads. The cannons themselves are very nice. They are basically the ones from the Cybertron toy. Painted in silver with bits of black on the sides, and it's got that little bit of black, though hard to rub. Does have that same nice texture feel that I've found on certain toys that feels very nice. This down here doesn't feel as nice because, I mean, it's molded very nicely, but like it's a little rough. This is so smooth and interesting. And then unfortunately those cannons, however, are completely hollow. Just for the saving plastic measures, and like the original toy, this gun does come off like so and is very nicely silver painted with the handle. Unfortunate excuse me. And then lifting the cannons up, we can see gaps and the back of the super mode head and just the hands barely hiding. But you know what? The Cybertron toy was about the only reason the Cybertron toy was more clean in that area is because it was less complex, but it still had about the same amount of garbage. So you know what? I can't complain too much. Well, not the seeing all the way through garbage, but like, you know what I mean. That's like, there should be stuff here, but there's not. But I'll show that off more in the comparison. And also, just in case you're curious, no cyber keys, though it does have a little bit of molded detail there and there that does mimic the Cyber Planet keys. And these bits are new, but we'll talk about them when they're more relevant in the robot mode. Of course, he does in fact roll. Besides the blaster from the one cannon, he does include the same guns from Ultra Magnus that went on Ultra Magnus's thighs, that as soon as we saw that, everyone was like, Cybertron Optimus Prime, Cybertron Optimus Prime, Cybertron Optimus Prime, because these are the guns from his super mode legs. And where they would normally appear in the toy, they would appear on the original figure. They would go there and there, so you could get him armed up like so. It's unfortunate that they're solid black, and also that they do kind of stick out a bit far just based on how the pegs work. But you know what? I'm very appreciative of how they did that, though I do kind of... What could have been nice is if they figured out a way how to tab it in and like help cover the gaps going on here or something. That'd be neat. But yeah, this I can solve with a little bit of paint, so that's fine. And there's also the hand. They can also be handheld and go in the sides. Wait, those aren't pegs, but you can also have them go in sideways if you so desire. Like so, though this... Come on. Desire. It desires to go in this way. Yeah, there we go. You can do that as well. Oh, and like how these cannons don't move the exact same way, because there's a new transformation involved with this. These cannons are actually mirrored from the Cybertron toy, more so to help maintain the same sides for the robot mode. But we'll talk about that when we get to the robot mode. But that is everything we have to talk about for the vehicle mode. So now let's take a quick look at a couple of size comparisons. Here he is with Legends Class Tailgate and Deluxe Class Sideswipe, the Voyager Class G1 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Ultra Magnus, and just a quick greater look around. The differences between the two in their vehicle mode. But yeah, there's that. And the original Cybertron Leader Class Optimus Prime. So with that then, let's move on to the robot mode. So, first things first, we are going to have to take the trailer off. Its main connecting points are this bit on this slider thing, as well as this clip going over the tab that is between the legs, as well as clips grabbing onto the wings. So we're gonna undo those. And yes, unfortunately, he does not have a flight mode. That is sad, but hey, it was just the wing. It was just a fire truck with wings. So there we go. You can take that out and detach all of that, and we'll put this off to the side for now. It'll come back in a little more organized, and then we can work on this section. So if the legs haven't split already, split the legs, and then there are also tabs here on the crotch that go into those slots that help it hold the legs in place for alt mode. But you're just going to now rotate those legs down on those very nice sounding ratchets, flip out the heels, and that's the feet all done. And then we can fold out the arms, these tabs going into those slots there. Clip that in, do the same on the other side, clip that in. And now we are going to rotate the whole of the cab like so, and we'll slide up this section right here and pull down those arms, and we're gonna come in here. No, wait, before tabbing the arms into the cab, you've gotta come down here, fold this down, flip the head out, and put the chest up, and slide this back, slide it back like so. And there is Optimus Prime in his robot mode. So, as we can see, there are a fair few differences between the Optimus from Cybertron and this toy. There's some similarities, but not a whole lot in this form. The main thing certainly being that the truck cab ends up on his chest as opposed to his shoulders, and kind of, and I mean, it is a little pudgier than we're used to from Optimus, but honestly, I don't think it looks too terrible. At worst, it's an Energon, it's a mini Energon reference, but we also have the head to consider. It's the same as the inner robot for Ultra Magnus, exact same as the design, so it's the G1 Optimus head. And to be fair, the Cybertron Optimus's head was very similar to the original head, but to make the similarity stronger, even with the mouth plate up, which is the main thing, he never had the mouth plate up in just this form. They could have done a little bit of yellow paint on the sides of the cheeks, on those like cheek guards there. They could have painted this crest yellow, and they could have gone around here and painted that front silver, and that would have been a lot more similar to the Optimus's head. Right now, it just kind of looks like a G1 Optimus with yellow eyes, which feels off to me, though I think that is a thing in some places. And, you know, maybe painting these black, those are the least accurate bit about that. But, like, you know what? Maybe that would have helped the look a bit more. Though certainly the main thing would have been retool the head to not give him a mouth. But a lot was retooled on this, so I can forgive them for that. Also, this is not the mode I'm going to be displaying him in. So it doesn't matter too much, but I'm just saying there's those comparisons. The arms, so besides the head, the upper body is the same. The front is the cab, like I said. We've got the crotch here, which is the same as the one on the inner Magnus body. We've got the red shoulders, gray upper arms, red lower arms, and blue fists. Again, kind of inaccurate, but hey, it's what we have, and it still looks good. Gray thighs, gray crotch with a little bit of yellow, blue for most of the legs, and a little bit of silver around those knees there. Articulation-wise, the head rotates a full 360 degrees, has up and down and side to side. Arms can do the full 360. They're able to go out that far. They do have the biceps. They do have the elbows at 90 degrees. There is a 360 degree waist rotation. And you can bend the legs, that far forward, that far back on those clickety-clackety ratchets. And they go out that far. Knee bend is 90 degrees, maybe even a tad less than 90 degrees. And then the feet pivot out that far from this position. So there's quite a bit of range on here. Now going for accessories, well, before the actual accessories, let's talk about one thing. So these bits are able to be taken off. They can store here if you want to keep them stored there, and that is completely fine. But if you want to make him look a tad more Optimus accurate, you are able to plug these bits onto his forearms like so to give him those Optimus's forearms from Cybertron. So yeah, and this is definitely part of the super mode combination, but I just figured I'd show this off, that like you can do that if you want to. But again, it's all up to personal preference there for that. And then for the two main accessories are these two blasters, which normally go on the sides of the legs for super mode. But as I said before, they do have the 5mm ports that can go into his hands. So you can, you can plug those in and plug those in, and he can blast ya. These are blast effect compatible, of course. or they should be at the very least. That's a tight fit. There we go. Blast Effect compatible, like so. Surprisingly, that's Blast Effect compatible, I guess. But yeah, then you can also plug them on the sides here. You can store them on the back using those ports. You can even have him have shoulder cannons if you want. And that's, oh, and also stick them on the bottom of his legs down here, I guess, if you want to try something like that. I don't know. A lot of different options for storage on this guy. And speaking of the blast effects, before I move on to one more thing before the super mode, or the size comparisons, blast effect ports are there, and then 2 on the legs there, and that is, yeah, those blast effect ports. And then we can also, if you want to take one of the barrels of the cannons, give it to Prime as his handheld gun, just like the Cybertron toy would. So that's very nice touch. But yeah, that's it for the vanilla robot mode, perhaps. And let's move on to some size comparisons. Here he is with Legends class tailgate and Deluxe class sideswipe, Voyager class Optimus Prime, and Leader class Ultra Magnus's inner robot, so you can see how all of those scale with each other and all of the differences between those two. And then Voyager Optimus again, along with Leader class Ultra Magnus in the full armor, and the original Cybertron Optimus Prime vanilla robot mode. And you can see all those differences going on there. And now that we're done with the size comparisons, we can get on to the super mode, or the Galaxy upgrade, I guess. So to do a little bit of prep work with Prime first we are going to pull the cab forward and slide this all the way down and take these sections off, like so, and like so. And then while we're up here, we are going to untab the arms from this chest, flip that section forward, and then flip in Optimus's head and close that back up and retab the arms in, slide that chest back, then we'll come down to the feet, flip the heels up, and then we'll come here and rotate this around and up like so. Honestly, not a whole lot of difference between the two sides. All I know, this is the same as Ultra Magnus's primary mode crotch, and then this is the newly retooled one. But really both of them look pretty similar. I think technically this one is slightly more accurate. So yeah, we'll go with that for my personal tastes. So that's all you need to do with Prime to get him ready. So, well, I let him stand up so I can come over here. And with basically the trailer section, first thing we're going to have to do is detach the legs. And there's 2 major locking points. There's a couple of clips going into it right there and there. And then there's these nub sections there and over here. I haven't found the best way to get them apart, because you really just kind of gotta get this top bit undone first. And then it all just kind of comes off, and it does bend this section a fair bit. So I don't know what to say as the best way, but while we're here, I do want to quickly mention best way to get this bottom part tabbed in, connected, is you want to do that, have those lined up, slide in, and then force them into place. And make sure they are even, or else it is not going to ride. The alt mode will not lay flush against the ground. If you don't get this section correct, it's not going to sit. And also, this is tough, especially doing it behind the camera, but it's definitely going to have to be clicked in like that, and then you can lock that up securely. But we're not doing that right now. So we've got this section. Now we've got this section. So let's work with this section. We're going to split the legs like so. We're going to take those shoulder pads out like so. And then we're going to come over here and we are going to bring the wings out. We're going to flip this section down by untabbing it from the bottom here. This tab going into that slot right there. Well, it's actually a groove technically. If you can see that groove right there. And we're going to flip this up, flip that up like that, fold this back down, and then flip those up like so. And then we're coming here and we can fold these up and put that there. Fold this up, put that there. And while I'm thinking about it, put this gun back on. Then we can come up here and stretch that out and get that ready for a combination. So now we've got all of the parts. So now let's put them on prime. And I can't even show all of the parts on screen at once. There we go. So let's start with the legs. Those are the easiest. These clips here are going to go into those slots right there, if you can see it in this lighting. Those ones right there. Pretty straightforward. Just slides on in and connects. Slides on in and connects. So we got his pants on. For the forearms, I showed this off earlier. We're going to take these sections, open them up, tab them to the forearm, open them up, tab them to the forearm, and then to finish the arms up, we are going to take these sections, and this hole and that peg are going to go on top of the smokestack and into that 5mm port. So that all locks on securely. So he's got his shoulders. So I guess you can put these on in the regular robot mode if you want to get them a little more screen accurate or original accurate. And then the last thing that has to happen is this whole thing is going to clip onto this thing like so. And then these tabs at the bottom here are going to tab into those slots there and there, locking all of that in place. And we just rotate the head, and there is Optimus Prime in his Galaxy upgrade mode, or if you're a Cybertron fan, super mode. I can't even get the whole of the blasters on camera. There we go. He just fits. Now you can see he's leaning a bit far back. The backpack is a bit heavy, so you do kind of want to tilt him a bit forward. It's most noticeable in this form, but the hip ratchets are a tad weird, especially the ones on the inside. I've heard cases of those being warped out straight out of the package to various degrees. I checked mine; they're fine, but it just does function a bit weird. So just as a quick warning for you. Another bit of the transformation you can do is you can come down here and you can see these bits and flip those out if you want super long heel extensions. But as you were seeing, he doesn't really need them. It's not affecting his back balance in any way. I'm sure it helps support him a bit if like the table knocks over so he doesn't fall, I guess. Oh, that didn't. The arm wasn't connected the right way. Well, now he's all connected the right way. But just saying that is an option if you want, but it doesn't seem to be necessary, as you can see. But taking a closer look at Prime overall, he's got a very nice head sculpt going on. New head, definitely based on the Cybertron toy. And you can see what I was talking about with the yellow forehead crest, the yellow cheek pads, and then the silver forehead bit there. And they also got the ears right. However, they did not paint them black, and I'll probably go ahead and do them myself. But you know what? That is fine. It looks really good. And then we replicate the chest window accurately, even though they didn't appear on the vehicle mode itself. We got the nice translucent blue windows. We got a little bit of silver going on, as well as a little bit of silver making up some battle damage. You still got the front of the truck that doesn't belong here because it's the shoulders now. They're on the shoulders. But you know what? It's fine. And this looks very nice. We got actual Autobot symbols on the shoulders now. Plain red roof, painted blue windows, and that white stripe going on. And then the forearms are mostly the same forearms, and then with the front of the truck attached to them. The crotch, I said, can be different if you want. Plastic gray thighs. Legs, we saw they're basically the back of the truck, so we got the blue and the silver paint on them. A little bit of foot damage with the wheels there. Technically, if you got the legs tight enough, you can get him to roll. Autobots, transform and roll out! Transformers, Mars and Misty Eye. I'm kidding. Anywho, so yeah, you got all of that going on. And you can take the two guns, and this should have been one of the first things I did to make it more accurate, as those are where those weapons stored. But for articulation, the head is able to rotate a full 360 degrees. It can go up that far, down that far, and can even go side to side. The arms have the capability of rotating 360 degrees, but due to the nature of the wings, that is a bit tricky to get done. You can do stuff to move it out of the way to get it, though. Arms are able to go that far out. Bicep swivel is still there. Arms are still there. And I think I forgot to mention there is 360 wrist articulation for the hand. That is also applicable to the vanilla robot mode. Waist articulation, still 360 degrees. You got a huge butt coming out if you do that. Legs are on the same ratchets, so the legs can go that far forward and that far back just because of the kibble. You could probably rearrange it a bit better. And can go that far out. Knees, the same 90 degree, maybe slightly less than 90 degree angle. And for ankle tilt, you got a very deep ankle tilt. That's like full splits right there. Like, look at this nonsense. Look at that. Look at that. He's doing the dude that is standing on the two trucks and the trucks are driving away from each other pose. That's a nuts amount of ankle articulation. Though there is admittedly a slight tilt built into them, mostly so as the wheels aren't really touching the ground, so as he can't roll away like I was showing you he could if you get the legs too close. Besides that, and I also forgot to mention about the wings. On this side, you got the nice silver paint and then the wheels painted in. These are fake wheels because those wheels are now these wheels because of how the transformation shades. But you know what? I'm glad they kept what they could to make it look accurate. Unfortunately, these gaps are slightly unseemly, but not the worst thing in the world, but for how it's displayed, that's unseemly. I know Dr. Wu made an upgrade kit for Ultra Magnus that gave him gap filler pieces, so I really do hope they do gap filler pieces for this, because then that'll just make it look amazing. But speaking of those cannons, fun thing you can do is you can have them rotate down and flip around. Rotate down and flip around, and you can move these bits here as far forward as back as you want, and then a bit on the rail, and then you can plug Optimus's hands into them. And now, instead of just having them awkwardly underslung under his arms, he can actually hold those blasters while he's firing them. And then you lift those up, and you got the full firefight going on there. Oh, I didn't even mean to make that joke because he's a fire truck. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha. Yeah. Blast effects all around. In there. I believe in here too, yeah. Yes, and do they go on here? Yes, they do. You got a lot of guns, and then you have two ports right there and there, and then these two ports on the legs for him receiving battle damage. And I'm going to just double check because I don't think there's anywhere else. Just want to really make sure about the wings because I could easily miss something there. Nope, doesn't look like it. But yeah, so that's that. I'll just get him into his quote-unquote neutral pose where all the guns are stored away and such. And we can get into some size comparisons. Here he is with Legends Class Tailgate and Deluxe Class Sideswipe, Voyager Class Optimus Prime and Leader Class Ultra Magnus, Leader Class Cybertron Optimus Prime, who I can barely get completely into frame with him, and of course with the channel's mascots Soundwave and Wheeljack. So yeah, Siege Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, aka Cybertron Optimus Prime, Galaxy Force, Galaxy Convoy. I love the show because it has so many good memories from my childhood. Again, unlike G1 especially, it's gotten very minimal retreading and reworking of toys, of characters, or use of them to significantly great extents. This is so amazing and I love it. I know there are a lot of differences from the original toy. It is a bunch smaller, but you know what? I can pose it. I don't even know how my Cybertron Prime was standing because I can't get it to stand. Its hips have gone out and it basically can't stand on its own. So I'm impressed that it was able to stand as well as I did, but this can stand on its own. It's got great posing. There are definitely things I would like to touch up for my own personal enjoyment. And again, I hope Dr. Wu comes out with a kit to cover those gaps. But I personally love the toy, so it's going to be hard for me to make an objective opinion for you. If you like this, I think this, trying to be as unbiased as possible, I do think this is a very nice set. It's a very nice looking Optimus Prime. It's also technically a version of G1 Optimus because this design is appearing in the comic for the current new IDW comic. But yeah, like I said, it tickles my fancy. I can definitely understand if like these gaps are unsightly, or if you're a true fan, the legs being different is too weird, or the gut being weird, or whatever. But I enjoy it. I'm having a good time with him, and if this is of interest to you, then I recommend you pick it up. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, if you would like to help support the channel, you can check out my Ko-fi link in the description down below. And you should also check out RDSJ Gaming, where I play video games with Alyssa, aka The Rational Dove. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.